I don't know if you know this, but Paddington 2 was voted last year as the greatest movie of all time. Did you know that?
I'd heard that it'd done very well on, what do we call it, Rotten Tomatoes, which was amazing.
So first of all, I want to say a massive well done for successfully scaring the bejesus out of me in this film.
Oh, really? Oh,
You
well, that's
really,
very good.
but it's not what we're used to seeing from you more recently. Obviously, Paddington. And it's miles apart from Lord Grantham, for example. What made you want to kind of take on this more sinister role?
I wouldn't say sinister. I mean, in many ways, you could look on this as sort of Paddington 3. A lost outsider finds a new home, and so I think there's a connection through the other characters that you've talked about. This one perhaps just lives in a different part of the country. He lives in this one lives in London, not quite as adjacent to the Brown family of Paddington. But there were certain differences. I mean, different costumes. I like that. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same role, I think.
And like I say, quite different to Lord Grantham, and he's an absolute gent. What do you think he would kind of think of Hector?
Well, I think Lord Grantham would probably want to take Hector, for a long walk in the country, and then give him a piece of his mind and write him a firm letter of disapproval.
I love
that's
that.
about as far as it would go.
And how do you get into character for roles like this?
Well, I think if you're looking to play someone who's absolutely assured of his own position in society, and that everybody else is wrong and that he's right, I think you need look no further than really number 10 Downing Street.
Okay, interesting. And obviously, in this film, you're hiding some quite dark secrets, like you said before, maybe misunderstood. What's maybe a secret or something that people might not know about you?
I think my incredibly sweet tooth. I am a complete sucker for fruit gums.
I love that, noted. Because also something that a lot of people might not know, which I found out, is that your mum had quite an interesting career herself. Is that correct?
Yeah, she would say it wasn't. I mean, she passed away some years ago now, but yeah, only after she died did I discover that the office building that she used to go and work in was actually MI6. And as she said, I just did filing, dear, which I later discovered was true, but it was filing of quite sensitive information that she certainly couldn't talk to anybody else about.
Wow. I bet everyone's thinking now, I wonder if my parents worked for MI5 or MI6. And in the film, you say something quite interesting. You said, I really tried to be kind, but I had this rage that is so liberating, so empowering, which I think is really powerful. And like you say, your character is maybe misunderstood and has a reason for why he's doing what he's doing. So I want to know, what in life do you find liberating and empowering?
Oh gosh, that's interesting. Walking with my dogs, which sounds rather banal, but that is probably the most, actually also the most annoying thing, because I have two dogs, one of whom is just, he's nearly 15 and very sort of passive and quiet. The other one, she's 7 or 8 and is the most willful, annoying little bitch that any dog owner could have. And trying to get her to behave on a dog walk is really, that's where I think my rage comes out. But never directed in any physical way. It's just really at life and how brilliant dogs are at just bringing you down to a level. So that's a rather weaselly answer, but that's the one I'm giving you.
I love it. I have a little red cockapoo, so I definitely
know
what you mean. I sometimes feel the rage.
I really tried to be kind, but I had this rage that was so liberating, so empowering. Do you want to know what happened?
Now, I Came By is very much focused around kind of fighting the system, I guess you can say. Why do you think, especially with the current climate and everything that's going on in the world, why do you think that's important right now? Kind of the theme of this.
I think the theme of protest, but is something that Babak picks up on in the film. You're absolutely right. But it's what is the solution? It's all very well protesting. It's like the Gilets jaunes in France. You feel this wave of frustration and anger and protest, But what is the building block you put in place? It's all very well having a revolution, but what about the vacuum you create? Or you better have a solution to put in place, otherwise you have a vacuum. And I think the element of protest in this film, which is the disaffected youth and their wanting to say to society or the establishment, we know who you are and we've got you and we can make this protest, but they don't have a solution. And I think that is a frustration that so many people in this country, certainly, and probably around the world, feel. So I don't have the solution, but that sense of the levers of power being pulled without the people who those levers affect being taken into account or being given due consideration is very vivid. And those in power need to be careful, I think, because I think we're about to enter a phase of real disquiet. We are entering a phase of real disquiet and a sense of impotence from society, that those in charge are all on holiday.
And I imagine that it was quite intense to film this. It was quite, like you say, it's quite involved and different to maybe other things that you've done before. Something a little bit more light-hearted is potentially on the horizon, Paddington 3. Is that?
Oh, I see.
Can you give us any?
Well, yeah, I mean, the filmmakers really kept their cards close to their chest by announcing it's called Paddington in Peru, so that gives you most of the plot. I suspect there's a visit to Aunt Lucy, but to be honest, I haven't seen a finished script yet, and there's certainly no plans to start shooting soon. There was talk of it happening this year, and then it couldn't for various reasons, so I don't know if it'll happen next year, but Paddington's got his, he's got his speaking tour, he's got his new album coming out, he's out of rehab, but doing his best. So it's a question really of his availability that we're still waiting on.
And I don't know if you know this, but Paddington 2 was voted last year as the greatest movie of all time. Did you know that?
I'd heard that it had done very well on, Rotten Tomatoes, which was amazing, because it was a tough film to make. It really was, largely again because Paddington was entering crisis mode. But it was a tough film. But the result is, I think, even better than the first film. So it's wonderful to think that it's been embraced by audiences, around the world in the way that it has.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
Thank
very
you.
much.
Hey, what's going on? I'm Kevin Hart.
Hi, my name's Eric Snowstreet.
Hi, I'm Margot. I'm Journey.
I'm James McAvoy.
I'm Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm Rebel Wilson.
I'm Jeremy Clarkson.
I'm going to be translating some Scottish tweets for It's Gone Viral.
On It's Gone Viral.
Ooh. On It's Gone Viral.